So welcome back, Level 1 NCEA physicists and earth space scientists, continuing on with the human-induced change in the earth system, internal 1.1, and today we're looking at the greenhouse effect and human impact on that effect. So the key idea is that human activities, like releasing fossil fuels into the atmosphere, is changing the Earth's spheres. And as mentioned, an example of that is the burning of fossil fuels, for example, in cars. That releases carbon dioxide gas, and that releases it into the atmosphere. This can lead to global warming, and we'll look at the mechanism next, and that affects different parts of the Earth system, so different parts of the spheres, or different spheres. So changes can be positive in terms of human change, so the use of renewable energy okay, that is more sustainable than use of fossil fuels, or it can be negative, so cutting down trees and deforestation, which we've explored in some depth in previous lessons. So in terms of the greenhouse effect, we're going to go through how it works. So the Earth's atmosphere basically traps heat like a greenhouse. And what happens is that sunlight comes in from space, enters the Earth's atmosphere, and some energy is absorbed. Some of the sun's energy is absorbed by the Earth's surface and therefore warms the Earth's surface, which we experience on a nice hot summer's day, for example. And heat, which is infrared radiation, which we'll explore more in the external 1.4, is then bounced back into the atmosphere. This is where greenhouse gases come into play, because gases like carbon dioxide, methane, which come from, say, burning of fossil fuels or from the dairy industry by belching and farting cows, and also water vapour, which is what clouds are made of, basically trap some of this reflected heat, and that keeps the Earth warm. That's a natural process. It's happened ever since the Earth developed its atmosphere, and that's good, because if it wasn't the case, the Earth would be too cold to live on and would all freeze to death in the coldness of space. However, in the last 200 years through to the Industrial Revolution, you've got basically a greenhouse effect on steroids. And this is bad, because what's happening is we're pumping too much carbon dioxide and methane into the atmosphere. That traps extra infrared heat, which should be going out back into space, and this is causing an increase in global temperatures, okay, known colloquially as global warming. So in terms of human activity, it affects multiple spheres. Okay, so if you change one Earth sphere, it affects the others. Okay, so again, the burning of fossil fuels, that's going to increase carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Okay, so you get those warmer temperatures, that global warming. It also affects the biosphere, because plants and animals struggle to survive in the extreme weather. And also affects the geosphere, because the ice caps begin to melt, and that causes a rising of sea levels and more erosion, because you get stronger storms. And sea levels are also linked to the hydrosphere, because warmer oceans mean stronger storms, and therefore also coral bleaching as it gets too warm for the organisms living in the ocean. Okay, so everything is connected, all those spheres in the Earth system. So in terms of changes, these human changes can both have positive and negative impacts. So some negative impacts are more heat waves, droughts, and extreme weather events due to more energy being basically cycled into the atmosphere and hydrosphere. We've got the rising sea levels. That's going to cause flooding in coastal areas. Even last week, Highway 35 in Tucumaro Bay, basically at high tide, the road washed out. Okay, animal species struggle to survive due to the increase in temperature. Okay, and we've also got positive changes. So using renewable energies, solar and wind, that's a positive change because that's less impact on the environment. Electric cars reduce pollution, so go Tesla. And planting trees also absorbs carbon dioxide and makes things cooler as well for those in the direct area, and also a place for organisms to live, so it improves the biosphere. So in terms of carbon dioxide and Earth's energy balance, which is basically the basis of primarily climate change, carbon dioxide is changing the Earth's energy balance by trapping more heat in the atmosphere. Okay, so by absorbing this heat energy in the form of infrared radiation, it means that the heat's not going out into space. That means warmer Earth, and this changes the wind patterns, the ocean currents, and climate systems like the monsoon, for example, in Southeast Asia. Okay, and what can you do? Well, you can reduce your carbon dioxide footprint by using less fossil fuels and protecting forest and growing more trees with Mr. Anderson up near the lighthouse. Okay, so that's today's lesson, and tomorrow we're going to explore an experiment with combustion.